Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide to making money on the stock market. As a step-by-step guide to making money on the stock market. Now, about 2 weeks ago, a number of you made money from Tesla stock. I told you guys to buy Tesla stock, and I told you guys it was going to pump. And I said that 3 weeks ago that it was going to pump, and then 2 weeks, ago, the week after I said it, it did pump. Now, how was I able to get by that information? How was I able to come by that information? It's because of research that I did. I didn't just get a hunch, I didn't get a prophecy, I did research. And it's quite possible for you to replicate that, to have the strategy, the winning strategy to always make money from the stock market. So without further ado, we're going to go into that. Now, the very first thing is, what is a stock? A stock is a certificate that gives you ownership in a company. So it gives you part ownership in a company. So if you buy, for instance, a stock in a company, like let's go back to Tesla, it means that you are a part owner of Tesla. So if they have their annual general meeting every year, you are entitled to attend as a part owner. So you have, like duties that the company owes you, and you have responsibilities that you owe the company. And then there are also privileges that you're going to get from owning a part of Tesla. So that's a stock. A stock is a certificate that gives you part ownership of a company. Now, your degree of ownership depends on the amount of stock that you buy in that company. Now, having said that, a lot of people have this idea that if they own a stock in a company, that it's probably going to mandate them to do more things that they're prepared to do. No, actually, when you own a stock in a company, what just happens is that you are a part owner. It doesn't mean that you have to make any managerial or leadership decisions other than attend the annual general meeting and then you vote. So if you own a stock in a company, you don't have to manage the company. So that's what makes it passive income. It's very, very good. You do not have to actively manage the company. Other people do it for you. The promoters of that stock, the venture capitalists, and then the original owners of the company. Those are the people that manage the company. So you don't have to do anything. Now, having said that, you've got the stock. You are now a part owner of a company. So how do you buy a stock? How do you buy stock in the stock market? So you can either buy through a brokerage firm, so with a stockbroker. So a stockbroker works in a brokerage firm. So you can buy from a brokerage firm, and there are a number of them. You can buy from a brokerage firm. But this is not the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is not the 60s. You don't have to go through a brokerage firm. I mean, you can. That's how people used to do in the past. But now the vast majority of people have shifted to online tools because, the world is now a global village. I know that's very passe, it's a very cliche term, but it is true and it gets truer and truer by the day. So there are a number of apps that you can use to buy stocks directly without even leaving the comfort of your home. You can buy stocks through Robinhood. You can buy stocks through eToro, Ameritrade, Plum, even Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, which used to be, I mean, it's still a very large brokerage firm. They have their own app now. You can actually buy through Charles Schwab. So there are a number of apps that you can use. If you are in a place like Africa, you can also buy in West Africa. You can buy through Bamboo, you can buy through Chaka, you can buy through Strive. But it doesn't matter if you are outside the United States, because a lot of people think that okay, to buy stocks in the U.S. stock market, they need to be a U.S. citizen or a U.S. permanent resident. There are no citizenship or residency requirements to buy stocks or invest in the U.S. stock market. So you can be anywhere and you can buy stocks. So again, you can buy stocks through eChaka, Chaka, if you're in West Africa, or Bamboo, or Strive, or if you're in the rest of the world, you can buy through eToro, Plum, Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and there are a number of others that you can buy through. But then you can buy through these apps. Okay, so if you're going to buy through these apps, will you just, get an app and then start buying shares, start buying stock? No, you can't just do that. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy. Now, to have a strategy, you just have to ask yourself, what are my aims? What are my purposes for buying stock? I mean, for the most part, you want to buy a stock because you have an aim that eventually you're going to be able to live off the dividend of the stock. You're going to be able to live off the dividend of the stock and then never have to work again. So you get to the point where your money is working for you. So that would be the aim of most people. Some other people have slightly different aims, but the vast majority of people is that they want their money to work for them. So they want to get to a point whereby they are able to live off the dividends, the earnings from their stock. So if that's the case, then you have to understand that not all stocks pay dividends. Not all stocks pay dividends. So if you have that strategy, if you have that end game plan, you have to buy a stock that pays dividend. So there are a couple of examples. You can buy Coca-Cola stock, you can buy Amazon stock, but make sure that you're going to buy a stock that pays dividend, because not every stock pays dividend. I need to explain that to you. I need you to understand that. Don't just see, you hear from your stockbroker, or you do some research, and you find out that, oh, this is a good stock, and then you buy, and then you find out that the stock does not pay dividend. I mean, left to me, I think that the best stocks to buy are dividend paying stocks, but not all stocks pay dividend. Now, when you want to buy a dividend paying stock, there are other things to take into account. You don't just go and say, okay, because this stock, it pays dividends, then I'm going to buy it. No, you want to make sure that it is a stock that pays dividends at least, once a year. There are others that pay semi-annually, so that means they pay twice a year. There are others that pay every quarter. So that's why you see on Bloomberg, on Fox News, on Quest Means Business, on Financial Times, they keep on talking about Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. That's a first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So a lot of companies, they have their earnings statements, and then they pay out every quarter. I mean, to me, those are the very best. I mean, the more money that comes in, the better. But then there are other things to take into account. When you have, coming up with your strategy, you want to also do some investigation. And one of the best ways to do your investigation is to use a tool like Yahoo Finance to look at the stock metric. But then you don't have to use Yahoo Finance. There are other, even Google has their own, let's say, algorithm system whereby you can actually look at the stock metric. But I just prefer Yahoo metric because they put in a lot more work. But then there are others. There are even paid subscription services. But I'm telling you, you know what? I've been doing this for a number of years. I haven't seen a paid subscription service that is better than the free Yahoo metric. So you can just use the Yahoo metric. So what you want to do is this. You want to, before you buy a stock, you just want to look at the history. What is the dividend that they pay? How much dividend do they pay? Now, the average dividend on the stock market today, and I think it's been the same for the past 2 years, is about 1.3. So dividend paying stocks, the average that they pay is about 1.3. So what you want to do is you want to look for a dividend paying stock that pays at least 1.3% or above 1.3%. Coca-Cola is a very good one. Coca-Cola pays about, I think they pay right now about 2.4. So that is way above the average. And then there are others, you got others that actually pay above the average. So you want to look for a stock that pays above the average, dividend. So if a stock is giving you 1.3, that means that for every $100 that you invest, you're going to be getting $1.30, which is not bad, So you're going to be getting that. But then you want to look beyond that. You just want to look beyond that. You don't just want to look at the dividends that they pay. You want to also find out their payout ratio. Now, what's a payout ratio? A payout ratio is, a company makes earnings. They have earnings. And then from that earnings, they have what they call profit. Because not all of your earnings, not all of your revenue is profit. So you have your earnings, and then you have your revenue, and then you got your profit. So you want to look at that. You want to use Yahoo metrics or whatever metric they're using to look at that. And then from there, you want to find out their payout ratio. Now, what's a payout ratio? When they get their profit, they have a payout ratio. So it might be 60-40, it might even be as high as 80-20, but their payout ratio is the amount of money that they pay out to their stockholders from their profit, and the amount that they reinvest back into the business. So for instance, if a company makes maybe 100 million, and then they decide that they're going to have a payout ratio of about 80%, it means that they're going to share 80% of their monies to their stockholders. And then only 20% is going to go back into the business as a reinvestment into the business. And so the best dividend stocks are stocks that have a high payout ratio. So for you to have a stock that has a high payout ratio, it has to be an established stock. It has to be an established company. It has to be a company like Coca-Cola. It has to be a company like Pfizer. It has to be a company like, a company that has been around for a long period of time. So that means that they're well established. They build their factories. They've had their business model. They have their research and development. They have all of their government, will I say levies, and then government permits are already set up. So that means that the company is already strong and is now going to be at least a value stock, but most likely a blue chip stock, because they are already established. So whatever revenue, whatever earnings, whatever profit that they get, they're able to pay out more of it to their stockholders. But if you buy like a fairly new company, a lot of their revenue, a lot of their earnings, a lot of their profit is going to go back into the business because they need to build. So you got to take that into account. Now, the final thing I'm going to tell you about buying stock is this. You got to be careful about the area. You got to be careful about the sector you're buying into because the world is rapidly changing. The world is rapidly changing. If you look at the world right now, artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies are wiping out whole sectors. So when you're buying stocks, you want to buy stocks that are, wipeout proof. So we want to buy stocks in sectors that are not going to be wiped out for the foreseeable future by AI or by other emerging technologies. So, I mean, I'd like to buy, you see, Coca-Cola is becoming a recurring decimal in this video because Coca-Cola, they are in the food and beverage business. Now, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of the food and beverage business because AI cannot replace agriculture, cannot replace, food. We cannot eat AI. AI can only make that sector better, but it cannot wipe out that sector. We cannot eat AI. Another thing is this, we cannot fly with AI. We cannot just like download ourselves into a computer and get to another location with AI or with emerging technologies. So that means that aviation, is a good sector. And that means that resorts, tourism, holidays are a good sector because AI cannot take them out. But if you look at a sector like accounting, for instance, now it's very easy, very, very easy for an AI to do accounting better or for some kind of emerging technology to do accounting better than a human being. It's very easy. Or another sector like maybe moving goods from place to place, haulage, like I mean AI can do that business. You got driverless cars right now that can drive goods from one point to the other point. So you want to make sure that you are investing in a sector that is wipeout proof. And so you're looking at like hospitals, you're looking at pharmaceuticals, you're looking at especially food and beverage, which is going to be around for a very long time. So those are the sectors I want to invest in. Now, if you have watched this video, because I've tried to cover everything, but then maybe I missed out some things. And if you watch this video, maybe you have one or two questions arising from what I've said in this video. You know what? Put your questions in the comment section of this video. My staff are going to bring them to me and I'll do my best to respond to each and every category. Why? Because I hate poverty and I want people to prosper. I love prosperity. And there's not going to be any prosperity for you if you have questions and you cannot reach out to me or you cannot reach out to someone else and have these questions answered. So it's very important to me that I answer your question. So put your questions in the comment section of the video. My staff are going to bring them to me and I'll do my best to respond to each and every category. But you got to remember, I do not have a WhatsApp or a Telegram channel or a Gmail email address, and I will never approach you to ask you for money, or I will never approach you to invest your money for you. Now, a lot of people have seen the success of my channel and they've created fake YouTube profiles and they lie to people saying that they are me or that they are my personal assistant. Look, beware of spammers, beware of scammers. Now, this is the Apostle of Prosperity and Democracy saying, God bless